The first time I saw the SoundBoks brand, I was actually searching for a large portable speaker that I could take to the track for workouts. Outside of IT and YouTube, I'm actually a sprint coach for a high school team, as well as still compete myself from time to time. Yeah, I know, I tend to bounce all over the place between hobbies. Is there anyone else out there like that who's kind of like a hobbyist and just jumps all over the place? Let me know down below if you guys have started any new hobbies in the last year. For myself, it was mountain biking and I guess getting back into competing in track and field. What caught my eye on the SoundBoks 4 was that industrial look. It did look different than the other options out there. And it looked like something I could easily use in my backyard for hanging out on the deck, but just as easily throw it in the back of the truck and bring it to places like the track here, or even a lake day with the family. So here's the questions I want to know. Does it actually get loud enough without a complete distortion takeover for the person that needs a lot of volume, but is also into audio quality? Also, does it sound good enough beyond a rave for simple things like outdoor listening at normal levels? And finally, does it offer up enough performance, build quality, and features to support the $1,199 price tag? Right out of the box, the SoundBoks 4 makes a statement. It doesn't apologize for what it is. It's a big rectangle, it's semi-industrial, and it's probably the biggest Bluetooth speaker that I've ever had in my hands. At around 35 pounds, measuring roughly 25 by 17 by 13, this isn't the typical little speaker you carry around for background music. In fact, this might be the one to get you your next or first noise ordinance. Karen from the local HOA is gonna come a-knockin'. The construction features an aluminum frame, poplar cabinet with reinforced corners. I really like the replaceable silicone balls that they place on every corner of it for a couple of different reasons. It does great with vibrations for one, but more importantly, it allows you to sit it down on any surface without worrying about damaging the cabinet. It makes it a really industrial thing. You can just, throw it in the back of the truck. You can put it on the ground where you're using it. You really don't have to worry about hurting it. It also has an IP65 water resistance rating for internal components. You're gonna be fine with rain, splashes, spills. Basically, just don't submerge it. There is a port that runs along the side, so while the internals are IP65 rated and the outside poplar is protected by plastic, it's best not to soak the inside of a wood box, obviously. The build quality does feel very robust. I've been tossing this thing around for several weeks in my backyard, the garage gym, and even taking it to the track on several occasions where I can really turn this one up. And don't worry, this one actually goes to 11, and I thought that was kind of funny. It's like a little nod to the movie Spinal Tap. Beyond the volume knob, you have the power button as well as the hosting selections for grouping speakers that we'll touch on later. The aesthetic is definitely clean lines, a matte black finish. It's industrial without being ugly, basically purposeful without being boring. On the topic of not being boring, the powder-coated steel cover is removable with the included tool, and they actually have painting tutorials on their site to help you make this your own. I think that's pretty cool, and there's some pretty wild designs out there. On each side of this, you'll find the integrated handles that double as ports. It's a good design choice and gives you a solid carry option. But if this is still a bit too much for you weight-wise, or you have to carry this a long distance, they do make a backpack for it as well. Getting into some more of the specifications, the SoundBoks 4 houses two 10-inch woofers and one 1-inch compression driver. It's powered by three 72-watt Class D amplifiers, quoted to be capable of reaching up to 126 decibels. The frequency response is 40 Hz to 20 kHz, which on paper looks really reasonable for a portable unit of this size. That's all well and good, but to get really the best sound, I would advise going into the DSP within the app. The app provides EQ controls, as well as several presets plus custom tuning options. For example, there's a stage mode, and that's for live and vocal performances, a dance floor mode, and that's what they call an immersive audio experience for parties, and then lounge mode, and that comes across as more of a balanced sound. Each one shows the impact on battery life, as well as a general idea of what it's doing with the EQ. The custom tuning offers 6 bands to get the right sound for your space. That's generally the way that I would go on this. It's nice to have this option for the fine tuning, but you will miss out on the battery life predictions that you see on some of the presets. There's also what they call the Pro panel. It gives you 2 XLR and TRS inputs and 2 3.5s that can all be configured within the app. This is going to be for the user who needs, more beyond than just music playback. You could bring in things like a mixer, a mic, a guitar, and the output would allow you to even daisy chain speakers, even with ones outside of the SoundBoks family if required. SoundBoks also uses SKAA wireless technology alongside traditional Bluetooth. This system allows for true stereo pairing, even in surround sound configurations up to 5 units. Once you have multiple units connected, you can select between left, right, and mono depending on your needs. A nice touch here is it's not dependent on having multiple of the Gen 4 units. Say you have one of their SoundBoks Go's, which is one of their smaller, more portable options, or maybe even one of their older Gen 3 models. You can simply put the Gen 4 into host mode, then the other four, you switch them over to join and everything is gonna link up automatically. I found the 40-hour battery life claim to be very impressive at moderate volumes, but at maximum output, expect closer to something like 6 hours depending on the EQ selected, which is still respectable for this class of speaker. I mean, seriously, I have no idea who is going to be running this at volume 11 for 6 hours, unless you're operating it at like a music festival for a couple hundred people. In most cases, I never felt the need to go above 3/4, and that's at a wide open football field to give you an idea on room size. It does have a swappable battery option, meaning you can hot swap for continuous operation if you want. That, or expect around 2 hours of charge time using their charger to get back to 100%. One thing I do need to mention, the USB charger is not included, so it's either BYOC or purchase theirs at an additional cost. Luckily, most of us have some additional chargers laying around at this point. Now for the critical question, how does it actually sound? I can plainly say I wasn't disappointed, but that's also with the expectation that this is a portable Bluetooth speaker made to party and not something in my actual listening space. For audiophiles considering this for outdoor listening, it's important to understand what the speaker is and isn't. This isn't a critical listening tool for evaluating recordings. It's an impressive portable PA system that happens to sound quite good. The distinction does matter. Price-wise, at $1,199, it's expensive but not unreasonable given the build quality and performance. I once priced out a DIY unit for a potential project, and to get everything to this level of performance, taking into consideration its battery life, connections, and the phone application, it wasn't a realistic or reasonable price point. Getting a little further into that sound, let's first touch on the bass response. Those dual 10-inch drivers deliver genuine low end extension. I was measuring a more usable output down to around 45 Hz in my listening, which is very respectable for something like this. The bass is punchy without being a one-note wonder. It can start to compress a bit at extreme volumes, but even with it up to around 3/4 volume, it really isn't even breaking a sweat, and that is extremely loud. But I would say the DSP is having to rein in some of the bass at these volumes to keep everything in check. As for the mid-range, I would say it has a slight forward character that tends to work well for vocal-heavy content and electronic music. Purist audiophiles might find it slightly colored, but what I can say is the vocals are very clear, and if you're within the general sweet spot of the dispersion, it does sound really good in a large space. Getting into the treble, the 1-inch compression driver provides smooth highs without going into the overly harsh, even at really high volumes. There's a very effective detail retrieval in the upper frequencies, which actually helps maintain clarity when you're listening from a distance, which is pretty typical when you're using a speaker like this. Taking a closer look at the battery management is an intelligent design. With detailed charge level indicators, all you have to do is give this button here a push and you can see your exact status. The modular battery design means you can swap in fresh batteries for continuous operation, which opens this product up to more professional use cases as well. If you watch some of the earlier reviews, you might hear someone mention how you can't use this while it's charging. That restriction has been lifted, assuming you're using a capable charger. If your charger is 65 watts or greater, it'll allow you to reach full volume while charging the battery. So should audiophiles consider the SoundBoks 4? That answer depends on your priorities. If you need a portable speaker for outdoor gatherings, parties, or small events, and you want something that sounds significantly better than your typical Bluetooth speaker, then absolutely yes. The SoundBoks 4 succeeds because it doesn't try to be everything to everyone. It's unapologetically designed for high output applications while maintaining better sound quality than most of the competitors. The build quality inspires confidence, the feature set is comprehensive, and when used within its intended parameters, it sounds genuinely good. I could say this is honestly a speaker that I want to keep around. It's going to be a great tool for me as a track coach. I can take it to the track. The kids are going to love having this good sound. It really amps things up. But at the same time, I can easily bring this one home, put it on the deck, and we can listen to music while we're eating. It's a great addition, I feel. It's large, but it sounds good. And as for the people looking for more of like the studio monitor sound, if you're looking for critical listening in quiet environments, there's obviously better options for less money, but that should be obvious. The SoundBoks 4 is a specialist tool that excels in its intended role. What do you think? Have you ever experienced the SoundBoks 4 or anything like it? Let me know in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more great content coming up. Take care, everyone. We'll talk soon. Later.